The standoff between troops of India and China at the Doklam area near the China-India-Bhutan tri-junction continues as either side has come up with any solutions. Now, in June this year, India accused China of constructing a road towards the Doklam area, an objection that the Royal Bhutanese Army has also raised. India intervened by sending soldiers and bulldozers across the border into what China claims to be its territory and demanding that China should halt its construction work. Why is India intervening in the dispute, and is there a ready solution? I'm pleased to be joined in the studio by Dr. Binod Singh, Director of the BRICS Institute, New Delhi, and Mr. Ye Hailing, Director of the Center for South Asia Studies at the China Academy of Social Sciences. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Mr. Ye, let me ask you first, because this seems to be the origin of this dispute.
Sure.
Why is China building roads in the Doklam area?
I think I am the right person to answer this question
Okay.
because I've been there for many times. Not only these Doklam areas, but also many other places alongside in the border at the Tibet Autonomous region. Their geographic condition is really tough, and our soldiers and our nomads, they live in these areas. Their living condition is also very tough. I've been there. I witnessed that a lot of the logistic supplements has to be carried by hand and with the horses, on the back of the horses. So it's quite tough. It's not a very sophisticated expressway system like from the airport to our downtown. It's not like this. It's still very simple, it's not a very high level standard, the expressway, but the construction is needed for supporting the soldiers and the farmers who live in these areas.
Yeah. Dr. Singh, how is China's action seen on the Indian side? Why does India see this as a threat?
It's hard for you to believe the Indian side because I have not been to the border area. What we see is that China cannot make the things which it has done in South China Sea. We have been watching South China Sea, what you have done there. That is a reference for us. So if you let you do what you're doing in South China Sea, maybe those countries are small. India is not Philippines, India is not Vietnam. So if you want to do something like you want to do other part of world, that's pretty difficult. So India has objection, and you should listen to India and sit down and talk to them. What's the objection?
But let's take a look at the situation per se, right? Instead of using South China Sea as a reference, because you have to judge the situation as the situation is. Is there any basis really to what India is thinking this time? Or is it just, speculation based on what they think they heard in the South China Sea issue?
If you think this question on the Indian perspective and the Bhutanese perspective, you'll change your mind. So if you talk to anybody who thinks how to make India secure, and now the Prime Minister of India, he is a very good friend of Chinese people. He has been very nice.
He's also very popular here, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Now, why he will do like this? Is he gone mad overnight? Or do you think our army didn't listen to him? Or they're crazy now? I would like to request you that just like the way you oppose Assad in South Korea, the way you oppose Americans coming to North Korea, the way you oppose any other power, trying to change the status quo. So there's only one fight, one point. Please don't change the status quo.
Okay.
It's not a question of road or airport or whatever. Do it. But there's an agreement. If you have an agreement and you are breaking it because the other side is a small country. Now, they're just next to me, very close to us. So we
Bhutan?
have some obligation. Yeah. We have some obligation, 1950, 2007.
Yeah.
And if you think India will forget the obligations just because of China is a very good friend, that's not true.
So you say India has obligations for Bhutan?
Okay.
does.
Yeah, Dr. Ye,
Two
what is your
questions
reaction
I
to
would
that?
like to make the response.
Yeah.
Firstly, Dr. Singh mentioned the South China Sea as a reference, but we should notice that India never stopped the construction in their side border, not only on the disputed areas, but also non-disputed areas. Actually, India has most sophisticated infrastructure construction project in the Indian side, not on our side. We only pave the road. India has a lot of the chopper plate and also has very sophisticated the road system. So it's not only China didn't do nothing to so-called change the status quo. India always keep their moving to change the status quo, to create a new status quo. So in this circumstance, how China will understand the Indians' action in the another side of the territory if India's accusation to China is precisely, so I think China has more reason to raise the same accusation towards to India. That's my first response. Secondly, talking about the Bhutan. I think when we launched the border issue negotiation with Bhutan between China and Bhutan, these two countries, these areas never be to be the issue of this negotiation. We have the border dispute, but not in these areas. So it's not related to Bhutan. It's really only related to India.
What is the core of the problem?
In my understanding,
there have been 24 rounds of negotiations between China and Bhutan.
This area has never been an issue.
Why has there never been a
So,
conclusion?
It's because the Bhutan is not an independent country. I quote the Dr. Singh's comment that India has an obligation, but in my understanding, it's not only the obligation; it's also the superpower over the Indians' the Bhutan's independence. This 20 rounds of negotiation not only happened between China and Bhutan. In the negotiation, the table, there's one invisible partners. It's called India. So Bhutan, every time when Bhutan engage with China, they have to report to New Delhi. So in my understanding, it's really difficult to say this is a free will of Bhutan government.
Dr. Singh?
I think we can make it very simple also. Like, it's very next to your house. If somebody is making a new, I think you'll have some concerns. Okay, what is the purpose of this road? Okay, it's good for your PLA that you need a nice, better road, but right now at the border, what we think in India is not the best time. We are not against the road, but we are just saying that you just settle down the problem. Why you need road immediately? Why you need it today? It's like a little bit very hard for us to understand. Okay, like,
what has to be the timing then? When
exactly.
is it good timing to build
good time
roads?
is to sit down if Bhutan
And not do anything.
India has the
if
airport,
Bhutan
the chopper
and,
place.
please don't interrupt.
Yeah.
So what I mean to say as a Indian party here is that please do whatever you want to do if it is your land, but just prove it. It's your land.
Why not let Bhutan...
And how to prove it? If you just say this is my land from the ancient time, this is not the way.
But if it
Yeah.
has been the case, is it wrong to say that?
I jump in this discussion.
You can always say that this part is China's part, okay?
Because there has been this agreement between China
No,
and...
actually, this area is not on the dispute because the Bhutan government never discussed this issue with Chinese government. We have, again, I would like to emphasize, we have the territory dispute, but this area is not included.
in this area.
Yeah.
Why not? Why can't India let
That's
Bhutan
what I'm saying.
decide
If you
its
make
own
roads in any
negotiations?
if you make roads in any part of China, it's like you're making a road to Pakistan. Okay, what can you do? You have the CPEC corridor. Okay, you're doing it because that part is under control of Pakistan, not India. So despite we are against that, please don't go to that POK, Pak occupied Kashmir. But that's not in Indian control. Right now with Bhutan, we have this kind of understanding. You know, the way you have very good terms with Pakistan, we're not even so close the way you're close to Pakistan.
So are you saying that Bhutan is under Indian control?
That's what you understand. That's what you're trying to understand. What I mean to say here is that
why not let
we
Bhutan
are not even
negotiate?
as close to Bhutan as you are close to Pakistan. This is a very good mirror for you to check.
I really difficult to agree with that. We don't have any treaty.
If you
with
have a problem
Pakistan
here,
to control
India,
their foreign
China,
policy.
you start Pakistan to start shelling there, you know.
Well, you know, this latest news report published by Bhutan News Network by a legal advisor, Wancha Sangay, actually criticized India for using an iron hand to control the Bhutanese economy and preventing a conclusion of the territory negotiation between China and Bhutan. Again, why not let Bhutan negotiate with China on an equal basis?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to what the ambassador of Bhutan said. I think he is more legal than this person, okay? So if you quote him, allow me to quote the ambassador of, you don't have embassy with Bhutan, but there's a Bhutanese ambassador in New Delhi. So he submitted this to Chinese embassy. He already passed the message. I'm not carrying with me right now. You can read it. So whom should I believe? Should I believe this gentleman or should I believe the legal ambassador of the government of Bhutan? He is the ambassador. The way you just spoke to the ambassador of Pakistan, we also speak to the ambassador.
I do not
we
know
cannot,
what, yeah.
We can't speak to any person from Bhutan and what do you think of India relationship. We have to speak to the Bhutanese government. And there's no statement from the government of Bhutan that India is wrong.
It's
So,
very simple that why we don't have the Bhutan's ambassador in Beijing, because it really doesn't allow it. It's quite simple.
Yeah, there are no diplomatic relations between
and
China.
we all know the
and
reason.
Bhutan.
Why was the reason behind it? There's no diplomatic relationship only between China and Bhutan. Bhutan is the only neighboring country of China. We don't have any diplomatic relation. So we know the answer. It's because of the India. It's not because of Bhutan.
Okay, what could be possibly the way out of this standoff? I mean, China is demanding that India withdraw its troops and take back its bulldozers, but India says China needs to stop constructing roads in its territory. What could possibly be the solution?
Very honestly, withdraw the troops is the first.
Sorry?
Withdraw the troops is the
Withdraw
first.
the troops
Indian
first?
troops is
What
the
does
first.
the Indian side insist?
Basically, if we withdraw the troops, I think the road will come up. That's the problem. It's very easy for us to withdraw the troops.
So China do any construction in its part of the territory, anywhere along its border, where the roads are very poor, where it's very difficult to access the troops there. Is there any possibility
Why
that
do
China
you want
can
to
do?
go so close to us?
Well,
That's very funny.
The question is
why are
that,
you so afraid? Well, I think we have to leave it there. Really, this is a topic that we can go on and on.